we're spectating now. Yeah.
Okay. No, Snorlax goes in for the heavy slam. They want that wild Pokemon.
Yeah, this is the
Okay, let's stop.
for the swing. With that being said, going back into the central area, it seems as if Blacklist International is going to be answering back. That's going to be the first KO. This team is going to be going out now into the side of Talon, and now they are pushing down into this bottom tier score goal, trying to score, and there we go. They're not going to be able to stop them. Going to be able to destroy the first score goal as well immediately before the hyper objectives here.
Yeah, and this is very risky, however, for Blacklist International going for the 5-man rotation in the bottom side, which enables Talon to go for top lane. However, it's still not enough, considering there are only 2 people going in for those points. 30 still for the tier 1 goal zone to go down. So Blacklist International was really just able to get a huge amount of advantage.
See, that's the thing, though. Like, it's really amazing how, while Talon was able to get a bit of a lead earlier, Blacklist International definitely is making sure that they are not going to be left behind, and they were able to answer back immediately afterwards. So there we have it. That's going to be the first score goal as well up top for Blacklist International. Snorlax going to go in for the block here just to try to save their teammate. Yes, they will, but that also means the Talon is going to have the positional advantage instead of Regieleki. Almost just a few seconds. I think it's like 5 seconds, and now they're going to be able to get in that Regieleki with no answers back into Blacklist International. All they have to do now is just try to repel this Regieleki so that they would not be pressured up here by Talon.
Yeah, but coming down into this game number 1, in terms of like that drastic difference from yesterday, I have to tip my hats off to Blacklist International on how they're playing together, putting up a united front in terms of battling up against Talon, these macro playstyle, because this is what I believe what lacked yesterday for Blacklist International, why they lost a couple of games here and then, and yes, they won still, but this is like a newer, like a more adaptive type of team that we're seeing from Blacklist International, able to go and rotate with each other together and playing as a single unit, which is I really love from Blacklist.
See, that's the thing, though. That's one of the things that I really like about how Blacklist International is playing right now, because they don't want to put up a lot of risk, not against Talon, and just like that, they are making sure that there's not a lot of casualties in their team. But speaking of casualties, so there's going to be 2 into the other Blacklist International. It seems that they're going to have one more. That is going to be the Bright Future Meteor Storm up, and Limited Outrage is going to be able to save down 1, though, but they're going to be answered back once again. That's going to be 2 for 2 trade here into the side. No, never mind. It's going to trade down into the side of Talon, and they'll make a 4. That is Blacklist International actually winning that team fight.
Yeah, it was wonderful coming from Blacklist International, like having this very coordinated type of maneuverability into the game. Really strong, putting up a huge foundation and a stronghold into this matchup. And I do stand corrected. What I meant by Blacklist International was losing in the first couple of weeks and having like a bit of a rocky start. So now they're back at it again. Blacklist International going for Regice, and Talon Esports just has to stay and watch them eviscerate that objective.
Then made a bit of a mistake into that turn, and we have you just a little bit late here into using that block just to try to save Urshifu, but unfortunately Talon was able to clip them in, take them out. There's gonna be 2 into the side of Talon, and now Blacklist International really trying their hard to put up a defensive wall against that of Talon. But here we go, here comes Showtime coming from that of Mr. Mime, gonna be able to be taken out, though. There's gonna be 2 for 1 in favor of Blacklist International now, but that's another one here. Mike's going down once again. But, going back to what you said, I kind of agree with you. Blacklist International definitely had a very rocky start into, coming into this tournament. But then again, after a few days, they were able to get their footings back, and now they are ready more than ever.
Yeah, and this is what we mentioned as well during the draft of what occurred in that team fight. Blacklist International, all they have to do is press go and go for it all in. That is what occurred, and Talon was isolated in that team fight. Once again, top lane.
We understand that's going to be popped up into the Limited Outrage, though. But, that is just a tool just for them to be able to get away. And again, I like what Blacklist International is doing now in comparison to other teams where they are just really gutting in and forcing in the issue. Blacklist International makes sure that, okay, you know what? We're already done with the objectives. We've already done what we need to do. And now we just have to fall back. We have to focus now going into that Outright Quasar.
Yeah, and with their balanced composition as well, this will not defer them on to that battle later on for that Rayquaza fight, which is going to be very important for them if they want to secure that objective. Now they know that they are in the lead. All they have to do later on is to really just have a steady foot onto the Rayquaza objective fight later on up against Talon.
Right, but with that being said, though, we are now going to be seeing one more Reggies before that of the Rayquaza. But here comes Rubik's. Rubik's trying to get away. Yes, they will be able to get away, though. But Black International currently still full on HP, and they might as well be able to have the bigger advantage going to that of Reggies. Maybe use this debate against that of Talon, but Talon's not fighting. And Talon, not going to be able to steal away that Reggies as they now are having the better positioning into that of the Rayquaza.
Right, and they also have the block coming from Snorlax. They have the barrier coming from Mr. Mime. They have a lot of utility to push back Talon and just play goalkeeper in the Rayquaza pit.
Oh yeah, and here you go though. We might be able to see a very quick Rayquaza here. And again, this is the shiny Rayquaza, or officially named as the Black Rayquaza in the anime. So for those who hasn't been watching the anime, this is going to be the newer Pokemon now. That's going to be unveiled against that of the Ledge in the trailer. But, going back into the game though, shiny Rayquaza is now up as both of them still trying to poke each other out. Trying to get a initiation into the team fight, waiting for a mistake from each other.
Blacklist International, we mentioned this already. They do not need to start up the fight. They just have to play goalkeeper here, but Blacklist International forcing out an issue.
Showtime's gonna be popped up here, and look at that. Rayquaza almost out. Talon gonna be able to secure it for themselves. But it seems as if there's going to be two down into their side as Mirai is going to be taken out as well. Sync one, though, pinchered out here by Blacklist International. But they're going to be able to survive another day here as Ryu tries to survive, tries to get away. But Blacklist International, despite not having that of the Rayquaza, is the one putting up a bit of a score here. But then again, Talon now does have 487 points against that of Blacklist International. And now, still 40 seconds and not a lot of points inside of Blacklist.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Blacklist International. It was them who was a little bit that overconfident and over-aggressive coming down into the Rayquaza fight, and Talon just utilized that opportunity to go for the Rayquaza objective. It was a 50-50. It was so close there, but Talon just at the nick of time was able to secure it. So that was just enabled them to get that huge lead.
Oh yeah, for sure. But with that, no, it's Talon really, waiting for that Rayquaza hit or Rayquaza fight, and just putting all their eggs in that one basket, and it actually worked out for them as well. Talon getting in that Rayquaza despite a lot of AOE coming from that of the side of Blacklist International, getting them the game.
Yeah. And that just won them. This is what I love about Pokemon Unite. I think I've mentioned this yesterday already with PKUs, but these like roller coaster of emotions. Like at the beginning, you can have a massive lead, but when it comes to the Rayquaza, if you lose it, you're gonna have that opportunity lost to your opponent. So I think this is just one of the a showing of that scenario in this game number 1, where Talon got the Rayquaza, jumped in points.
Right,
Sejong yesterday full sweep 2-0, and Miran Sejong beat Full Sense as well in a 2-0. So that just speaks a lot of volume to how Blacklist International was able to adapt here in week number 3. But now we're jumping into game number 2 here, JJ-kun.
Right. And, again, still, we might be able to see the same set of bands here. It is still going to be the Mimikyu, Sableye, Psyduck, and the Zacian, the blue sword doggo here. But that also means that we might be able to see a bit of the same composite. Never mind. It is going to be right onto the side of Talon, whereas it was earlier onto the side of Blacklist International. So we might be able to see a bit of a change in terms of, like, what do you call this, composition here, where I mean, I think you agree with me as well that their composition was already okay or already good, but I guess what they're trying to do here is just trying to reinforce the composition that they had earlier. Instead of having the Mewtwo wide, they're going to be going in for that of the Miraidon, and the first 3 ones are mostly the same.
Yeah, both were workable. Blacklist International and Talent Esports in their respective draft is really strong, have their own respective pros and cons. And we talked about it in game number one, but now a little bit that switcheroo, having the Umbreon towards the Blacklist International side, they could go in for the double defender, double all rounder, and a single attacker that we've seen quite a lot yesterday.
Mm. But now, a Slowbro is going to be picked up here by that of Blacklist International. Really strong Pokemon. Can really, what do you call this, disrupt a lot of teams as well. You know, could be the Scald or maybe even the Surf as well. But the most important thing is, of course, it's Unite move, Slow Beam, can essentially stop a lot into the side of Talon, especially with the Mamoswine and, of course, the Serena here into the side of Talon.
Yeah, and Talon, the thing is, like a while ago in game number one, all throughout that fight, Blacklist International was just going in with those rotations time and time again. I think just having the Talon, yes, they do not have the Typer Space Hole, but I think the Rings and Bound definitely would help them in terms of just going in for that 5v5 fight if ever Blacklist International forces something.
Right, and you know, I really like the composition of Blacklist International here. I believe this is the biggest issue. It's not a big one, but it's again the biggest issue that they've had in their composition earlier. Most of their Pokemon really needed to get in. You know, Miraidon takes a while to charge up. And you won't really be able to reposition you know, Miraidon with when using charge beam, except for obviously moving just a bit of the same direction, and of course the jack button. So definitely using Mew here and the Slowbro just to, you know, change a bit into the side of a Blacklist International is definitely a very good adjustment from them, and I can see how they might be able. They definitely win. For me, they definitely win this draft. But what matters the most is obviously how they're going to be executing this. Thus far, though, Talent still the same here, but Kai now has handle into the hoop. Definitely, we're going to be seeing Trick here, not a hyperspace hole, but as you have mentioned, Rings and Bound is still going to do some damage into the side of Blacklist International.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Blacklist International, yes, they may have changed quite a bit in terms of their composition in comparison to game number one. But in terms of strategy, I think it will be the same. It's pretty much just going all in here. They have the Garchomp, they have the Slowbro alongside the Umbreon and Urshifu, and these are quite tanky Pokemon if you consider them. And Mew has that innate ability to go in and out of those fights, have the capability to bring out those damage and utility for the team as well. So
Right.
not really a big headache in terms of Blacklist International not having any support or sustain in terms
Oh
of
yeah, I
their top.
mean, you know, in all honesty, right? Like their Mew here is going to be the one serving as their support ish, you know, especially with coaching, you know, could provide a bit of a, shielding here. And of course, we have the bigger tank here that is the Slowbro as well. So definitely, all they need to do now is just get their XP ups. But as we can see right now, Talent is making sure that they don't get that. And honestly, that is one of the biggest thing into the side of Blacklist International, especially with the Garchomp. You know, we've been seeing a lot of Garchomp here, but then again, you know, with the Garchomp and the Magikarp needing a lot of babysitting, they're going to have a harder time here against that of Talon, where they only need their level 4, so they immediately can get in on a team fight. But here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, all trainers alike. Talon is basically pressuring them up at the top path.
Yeah, and it's all about getting the Altaris and Swablues that gives you a huge edge in terms of XPs and the AOS energy points at the start of the game. And it's all about that contest that always happens as a pattern time and time again for each and every single team. And then right after that, the birds in the middle lane, in the forest, would be next as a point of contest for both sides. So we can expect these teams to actually position themselves already.
Right. As you can see here, you know, Rubik's still a little, you know, line up as well. Santa's going to be taken out into the side of Talon. That's going to be Kai taking down Sand. So, but with that being said, now has access to, you know, one of the moves. Oh, well, definitely a Trek here. But what the thing here is, would they be able to use Phantom Force or Shadow Ball? So we'll find out later. But as Blacklist International is going to be pushing down bottom, going to be able to take down Dylan as
Oh,
well, and
wow.
putting up one more Rubik's, trying to defend this 1v4. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to have a lot here. But there we go, Ice Fang, but almost into that of the Citrus Berry. But still, we have Omai here going to be able to take down, that Gabite and sorry, the goodbye, sorry, and the Umbreon as well into the side of Black International. Very amazing use of time here coming from that of Rubik's, waiting for them, making sure they buy a lot of time here before their teammates arrive as well.
Yeah, and Blacklist International hoping to cheat there. I think the reason is that Talon, like Blacklist International, prioritized the middle lane birds that we talked about. They got it and they wanted to go for those points as well for that even trade, with Talon getting the tier 1 goals on top side. Unfortunately, the time wasn't in their favor.
Right, and Blacklist International here is really having a hard time pushing in and getting inside of the team fights against that of Talon, mainly because of Rubik's with the Ice Fang as rare. Really amazing play here. Look at that. Tu's going to be popped up as well, going to be able to take down the Mew, and into the side of Blacklist International, a lot of them are low on HP right now. Still here, trying to put in some score. That's only 8 though, as Talon's going to be able to destroy the first skull, go down bottom and the top path as well, putting them in a lot of advantage against Blacklist.
Right, and Blacklist International, at the very least, will be able to go in and out and trade onto those points. Will now stack up 143 points for their own. But Talon is still in the lead at this stage, and they still have that capability onto like punching back up against Blacklist International, having a tier 1 goal zone in their favor.
Right, but we have to remember as well that now, at the very least, starting now, Garchomp is now at level 9, well, just turned level 10, and definitely going to be able to help down more into the team fights in comparison to earlier, where, if you put it into the side of Rubik's, one Ice Fang is all it will take for you to shut down that Garchomp.
For sure. And I think that is just the strength overall of just having a Mamoswine in your favor. Like, having a Mamoswine in your composition just enables you for that Ice Fang. And on top of just having that hindrance onto a single target, it also gives you the capability to isolate that target, right? Putting him in an unfavorable position.
Yeah, I mean, usually use Ice Fang to bring it towards your teammates, and teammates is just going to, do some free hits towards that Pokemon that you catch with your big fangs right there, which turns into ice. Hence why it's called Ice Fang. Haha.
Nice. Does it turn like a... If it gets long enough, does it become Water Fang? If it gets long enough?
It's only water, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay, going into the fight, into the bottom side here. 1 KO already for Talon. Blacklist International going back and forth.
Man. Oh, wow. That's going to be a huge win here coming in from that of Talon. It's going to be 4 down into the side of Blacklist, where only Mew is up left, just trying to put in some force here while leaving Talon to take down this Registeel.
And now that will be a Talon Esports who takes down the Registeel in their favor. But now the Rings Unbound up top, going in for the Regieleki to potentially deny it away from Blacklist International. Get that 2 out of 2 objectives. Nothing left for Blacklist to be able to come forth. No handshakes thus far, and Talon Esports once again dominates.
Right, this is good too as well, coming in from the side of Talon, making sure that they don't give a lot of advantages into the side of Blacklist International, given the fact that this is going to be the last Regieleki. They made sure that they take it after the 4-minute mark, so that there's no more objectives before that of Rayquaza. But now, speaking of which, though, we're going to be seeing more action here into the side of Talon. Going to be able to take down 4. No, that is a team wipe, and Regieleki going to be able to go down the second tier school, leaving just one quick match here into 39 over cap up top. And now Talon is all the more ready going to the Rayquaza. They are now currently at level 12, 13, 11. Sure, Kai here is still at level 10, but really doesn't matter. That is a Hoopa.
Yeah, and that is just strength, right? We talked about a while ago. Blacklist International already knows how they want to play around the map. They want to go in for those 4-man, 5-man rotations consistently, and just having Hoopa for the side of Talon, regardless not having the hyperspace hole, they're just able to go in with those huge responses. And as soon as we said that, Kai goes down. But regardless, like this is the strength of having like a Hoopa in your comp.
Yeah, I mean, like that is one of the things as well, right? Like, it's actually a very good thing as well that Kai just, chose to get taken out, mainly because at least when you get taken out, you'll be recovering a bit more of your Unite move charge, and at the same time, you go back to your base quicker than when you don't. So with that being said, though, Mike is now positioning themselves into that Reggie bottom. I think with 10 seconds, they would have a lot of time to take it out if they're not alone, but they are at the moment, just, making sure that they check Blacklist International if they are going to, go in to the bottom Reggie. But with that being said, I think that's going to be the case. I think Mike is going to be able to, see that as well. And look at that. We're going to be starting the Rayquaza fight immediately. Now, Mammoth Imagine getting popped up as well by Rubik's here. Limited Outrage not going to be hitting anyone at all into the Meteor Storm. That is going to do a lot of damage into the guard chomp. And now Blacklist International has been pushed away from that of the Shiny Rayquaza.
Yeah, and now Blacklist International have to buy time here before the Rayquaza goes forth as Talon forces out the issue.
Twin Ascendants into the rings and bound as well. It didn't matter if you use me look on me. I'm going to use my Twin Ascendants on you. I'm going to be able to take down 2 into the side of Blacklist International. And Stan wants to go home and was brought home by Talon. And just like that, 3 down to the side of Blacklist International. And Kai just trying to run away. Well, fly in with that of Trick, putting in a lot of damage. And Kai with the Phantom Force going to be able to catch up into this low bro and taking them out as well. And Rayquaza, you might be a shiny, but you are not rare. And Blacklist International was able to secure that with Lance with that very minuscule nail from that of Garchomp was able to clip out that shiny Rayquaza. But with that being said, though, would they have enough time to catch down and run and score? I don't think that's the case. I think it was only him. It was only Lance that has 50 points. But the thing is, they still have to go through Talon for them to put that in.
Oh, Santa is the only one who has the Rayquaza buff going in for those dunks. Only a 51-point difference this time around in Talon's advantage, but Mike goes down. Serena goes up, so still has that capability to deny it, but a little bit too late there. Blacklist International now on the lead.
Oh, Kai is backcapping. Kai with 50. Okay, goes heading up for Phantom Force. Unfortunately, with 50 points, they would not have enough time to score. And in Blacklist International, my goodness, the comeback story here. That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Blacklist International, they go toe-to-toe against a lot of teams in this tournament, and they just prove it in. Like, yeah, sure, high risk, high reward, but if we can get the reward, we're going to be winning this game. And they did. Lance, MVP for sure of that match, saving the game for Blacklist.
Just taking the single objective that could really just turn the tides in their favor. And it's really unfortunate. I was expecting for Talon Esports to just buy time. It was with his moveset. So really, really fantastic job there coming in from Lance for Blacklist International.
Yeah, and we want to see one more of this very close match here, coming from that of Talon and Blacklist International. Please give us an amazing match once again. Guys, for those who are watching right now, ladies and gentlemen, all trainers alike here, for those who are watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, this is just game number 1, match number 1. Well, not this is game number 3, but match number 1 of the day, and it's already very intense.
It definitely is. It's a bit of a shocker, right? Because these two teams have met each other quite consistently already every single time during the Philippine qualifiers for Pokemon Unite, but at this point they're staying put toe-to-toe in this matchup, and so far Talon Esports is still finding what they could do here to close out the series alongside with Blacklist International thinking about the same thing.
Wow, Zacian is going to be picked here. It's going to be Miraidon switching places with that of Zacian this time around, and they're going to be going back into the Mewtwo instead of the Miraidon. And we have the Serena as well. We might be able to see the same different kind of support here into the side of Talon. I don't think we're going to be seeing the Hoopa this time around. I think while it was really strong in the last game, I'm not entirely sure that without hyperspace hole, they're going to be having their 100% in this matchup. But still really strong contender here, and was able to do a lot of damage as well. With Phantom Force and Trick saving themselves a lot of times again and again. But as I mentioned, I'm not entirely sure that's going to be 100% of them going into this match. And really, it showed that they just went in for the Eldegoss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eldegoss. This helps them a bit in terms of that utility into going in those fights, in those engages up against Blacklist International. Although this is very scary as well because Blacklist International went and doubled down into their composition that they won with in game number 2, having the Urshifu, having the Umbreon, the Garchomp, the Snorlax. But in addition to that, we have the Sylveon. So this will be very interesting on what can occur, on what Talon would do to be able to really negate and push back Blacklist International with their changes with the Slowbro and the Zacian now coming into their composition alongside the Eldegoss.
Right, and I'm just really excited to see how much they're going to be getting in, going into this game this time around. And as I mentioned, Blacklist now going to be going back to their original composition into this match, wants to really go in on team fights. But this time around, instead of like having them ride on as well, at least they do have the Sylveon, which could provide more, I'd say more DPS. Main reason being, like you can use Hyper Voice more than if you can use charged beam, because charged beam, sure, duration is really long, but you have to charge it a lot, and it takes a while to get a little bit of the cooldown down, right? In comparison to like Hyper Voice, or even then, like you can use it with Mystical Fire as well. It could provide a lot of like pressure into the side of Talon. So really, I like the composition of Blacklist here. And Talon, I'd say a bit of a they really need to get in on team fights as well if they want to win here. So all in all, I'd say we are going to be seeing a lot of forced issues here for both of the teams.
For sure. I think at this point, they're really just finding their footing and really just forcing things out at this stage to really try and win it. Because the thing is, like, game number 1, it was Blacklist International was able to sustain a bit of that advantage all throughout that early mid game. Game number 2, it was similar, but now on Talon's side. So this time around, it's all about just putting that pressure, putting that, or gaining that advantage all throughout that early mid game to be able to have that, I think, extra precautionary measure when Rayquaza comes out.
Oh yeah, and I just wanted to point it out what Susu did earlier. Trying to put us on scores and then immediately using X speed, just to try to get one citrus berry before going out, making sure that they are going to be surviving, going into this burst here. But as we can see here, we have hyper voice rather to be used, going to be able to take in a lot of the birds as well, making sure that they are going to have the advantage against that of Talon. And look at that Kai mean look here, but the Umbreon going to be taken out here by that of the Sylveon. And now only Mike is up left here, still going to be taken out as well by Susu here. That's another one into the side of Blacklist International, putting in a lot of scores as well, just to put in their stacks.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there coming from Talon Esports with Blacklist International going with 4-man rotation and just leaving Snorlax behind into the bottom lane to defend it. It was enough for Blacklist International to really have the win into that battle up against Talon Esports. I was thinking of like another analogy, but yeah, it's a battle that Blacklist won pretty much with that 4-man rotation.
Oh yeah, and again, it really took them a lot of time here. Sure, they were already trying to adjust on game number 2, but I think, and I can see this as well, that it is game number 3 where they can actually really fully utilize their adjustments that they're doing going against other Talon, because as you can see, they are currently in the lead, but Talon, as I say that, going to be able to take down the Umbreon this time around, but that is a pick off. That's a 1v4 or something like that into the central area.
And now Blacklist International have to hold their foot here. They have to hold their tier 1 gold zone and gain a couple of advantage because Talon Esports is now starting to ramp up.
And here you go. We have the Urshifu as well with the Book of Blow trying to charge up. And look at that mean look into Saint Juan. Going to be able to do a lot of damage. And look at that Wicked Blow to bring it back to the Pokemon Center. But as we say that, we have Zacian Mai putting up a lot of damage here alongside Kai. Tries to get away. Going to be able to get away this time around. But look at that. Jumping into the side of the Snorlax and push them out into the speed area, the reflux zone, and try to take them out. It's going to be a huge win here, a huge trade here rather, in to both of the teams. But with that being said, though, like Regieleki is still up here. We might be able to see a bit of a handshake here as Blacklist International is now trying to take in this Regieleki while there's 3 more Pokemon into the side of Talon down bottom.
Now very low already for Umbreon, but Urshifu is there, Sylveon is there. So damage is going to be enough for the Regieleki to be taken down by Blacklist International.
Oh, look at that Even Fist, and try to put them away and really chase them out as well. That's going to be 38 points over cap here. Going to be able to take down that Mewtwo as well, the Mewtwo Y. But as we say that Talon now gets a handshake, going to be getting in that Regirock down bottom. But, you know, there's still a lot more points here being put down by Blacklist International. But Talon is going to be eaten up by, Blacklist is going to be eaten up here by Talon as they overextended their stay. This is not a vacation, ladies and gents. It is a sick leave.
Yeah, definitely so. They're still coming back at this point, but Blacklist International trying to go in for the defense. Snorlax comes out on top. Good utilization of the block to push down away and buy time for Umbreon to come through.
And there you have it, you know, just buying a lot of time here. Infinite Cyber is going to be popped up as well. But with that being said, Umbreon is going to be taken out in the process. There's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. That is no make the 2. And Serena, Saint One are going to be able to survive. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. But Kai here, they need to call an ambulance back to the Pokemon Center as they get taken out. And Rubik's here. Rubik's, you might have the health bank here, but say less. Say less. I'm going to be taking in a bit of your tax HP and going to be taken out as well. That's going to be Black International definitely winning that team fight.
Yeah, man, it's really strong how they're able to put out this massive advantage at this point. And we talked about this, right? Coming down into the start of the game, both these teams are trying to find their footing, are trying to gain that better edge, to gain that better lead. And so far, Blacklist International was able to find that this type of composition so far works so well for Blacklist International. They're just going all in time and time again.
Saint Juan is going to be able to survive as they were able to take down Garchomp as well. No, make that 2, or she was going to be going down into the side of Blacklist International. You might have thought, well, I thought as well, you know, after Susu used that mean look into that side of Saint Juan, I thought they were going to be able to take down Saint Juan, but no, Talon was able to respond back immediately and was able to take down, you know, the Garchomp and the Umbreon. But now they're going to be answering back. They were able to buy a lot of time here for them teams, and now putting up a lot. That's going to be 6v5 situation here as we still have the Regieleki at the side of Talon. Going to be able to take on 2 in the process and 2v2 as well. Ryu tries to get away, but gets a block here. Try to diminish all the damage they're taking around, but that is not enough though. There's still the attacking prowess coming from Talon. Look at that, another attack here coming from that of the Mewtwo. But even if it's going to be popped out as well, they're going to be able to take on the Mewtwo as well. Set with a very low HP, survives, takes down the Mewtwo, and now Rubik's is going to be pitted down into the wall. Blacklist, Black King List, blacklisting Talon this time, and the Recreates is still let up.
Yeah, now Blacklist International is successful in terms of their defense, and I have to give the honor to that to Snorlax. Snorlax is so much capable into buying time for the team. If you saw what he did there, going in for those heavy slam, buying out time with those hindrances, along with a block, pushing the Regieleki farther away so Talon could not go in for that instant dunk. And on top of that, just securing so much utility against Talon wherein they cannot move against the wall. So really a fantastic showing there for Blacklist International, sustaining their 70-point lead thus far in this game.
Oh yeah, but here we have it though. The last few seconds before the raise comes up, and as you can see here, the XP lead, it seems it's a little bit balanced here, though there's 2 level 13s for both sides, and you know we have level 12, 1 level 12 and 2 level 11s, both of them on equal footing right now. But the key thing here to note is that their attacks are now ready to attack.
Black is still close though. The block going in more towards their side. So if ever someone goes in for the engage, it will be blocked away for the retreat. But so far, everyone's poised already for the Rayquaza objective.
Oh, here we go. Shiny Rayquaza has appeared upon us, and just like that, Talon and Blacklist are now ready to put in some damage, get the Scald, a bit of a poke into Ryu, but look at that, Ryu now initiates the fight into the block, and they're going to be able to take down, put up a lot of damage into that slow rope, but Rubik's now used in their slow beam as well, and look at that, even Fizz is going to be taken out as well. It's going to be the guard trump, there's going to be 2 down, and Umbreon is going to be taken out as well. That is Talon taking a bit of their time against that of Blacklist, and that's gonna be 3 down as well as Talon tries to poke down this Rayquaza, waiting for Blacklist International to make a bit of a mistake. Ryu gonna be taken out. Only 1 is left here. That is oh my goodness, are they going to be able to catch up once again? I don't think so. Look at that, Urshifu's going to be taken out of Cam, and just like that, Talon was not only able to push away Blacklist International, was not only able to take them out, but also was able to take down the Rayquaza for themselves without a sweat. And now what they need to do is score in. The score is 223 to 209. That's not a lot. One score can change the tides here, but that doesn't mean Talon is done here, as they are not going to be putting up a lot of scores this time around.
Yeah, they just did not have enough damage from that. It was only Umbreon that stayed put into the Rayquaza pit, that was trying to do work and trying to do like a miracle for Blacklist International. Unfortunately, Talon has so much damage with Serena. You have the Zacian, you have the Mewtwo that can have huge impacts into the Rayquaza objective, and that just allowed them to secure it and now gain a 260 plus point lead up against Blacklist in this game 3.
It's 320 now.
Yep, well, it constantly changes.
With that being said, though, Talon is going to be winning this game 2-1 against that of Blacklist International. Meaning that they're going to be getting another 3 points up the table in the leaderboards going around. And just like that, congratulations to Talon for winning this one out. But honestly, it could have been anyone's game.
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, it was so close. Blacklist International, I have to take note that at the start of the game, up until the middle of the matchup, before Rayquaza shows up, Blacklist was in the lead. Blacklist was in control of that whole game, was going in and out of those fights. The Ryu having a perfect defense time and time again in their tier 1 goal zone. But once Rayquaza comes up, once it went to Talon Esports, that was just the signal of defeat there for Blacklist.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it was Blacklist International Ryu with this with Snorlax. Yeah. Even when they were the one who initiated team